Well, hello there, makeup lovers. It's Celine here, and I'm here to teach you how to do a half cut crease on those beautiful eyelids today. The first thing we're going to do is start off with some Maybelline Photo Focus Concealer. We're going to start applying that to each eyelid, just a dab, dab, dab away there. Typically, when it comes to concealer, I will go shades lighter than my own skin type. This way, the eyeshadow will pop much more. Now, the brush that you see that I'm using here is a flat brush. It is rounded at the top, and I'll explain in a moment why I like to use this brush so much. And sometimes I don't use the brush, and I just use my fingers and pack it down as much as you can into those creases. If you just give me a moment here, I'm just gonna blend this all into my skin. Let me just tap here and tap there. All right. Oh, look, I'm still going. Yes, makeup is quite the process. So what you're seeing here is the Sage and Wisdom eyeshadow from MAC Cosmetics. And I actually got this a very long time ago for Christmas. I don't know if you're supposed to keep makeup that long. Probably not. But we're going to start with the dark shade, and we're going to use some eyelash curlers for a nice handy little trick. The brush you see me using here is actually very simple, kind of smaller, tapered off at the end. And this is actually a blending brush. So you're going to take your eyelash curler and place it slightly above where your natural crease is already. I have downward turned eyes, kind of Japanese looking, and it's kind of frustrating to deal with sometimes with all the folds. So by having this tool above the crease that you already have, will create an illusion that your eyes have more space for the makeup. So we're just going to continue blending it right above that eye crease, and it's going to create this total illusion of where your eyelid actually folds. Isn't that just a neat little trick for us all? So after using that wonderful eyelash curler that I just had there, I will just go and use that same brush for blending and just kind of slightly blend it out. That way there's not such a harsh line, but don't you worry, we're going to go back in there and blend some more later. The next step is we're going to be using a flat brush, pretty short bristles, very thin at the end, and what we're going to do here is just connect that corner to corner. By corner to corner, I'm talking about from that line that you had made from your eyelash curler. And that's my baby. So as I was saying, from the corner of that line that we have made, as I'm doing right now, to the corner of the outer eye. And then I just kind of continue that color underneath. Usually I do like to wait until after I do my foundation and my concealer. This way I don't end up blending in my green eyeshadow with my makeup. But as you're seeing here, I've gone ahead just to give you an idea of where the color should be going. And what you're seeing right now is what a weirdo I am. And yes, you may want to leave the site right now, but trust me, it gets better. Now we're going to continue on using that same blending brush, and we're basically just going to fill in the whole eyelid where we've already drawn the outline of where we want this beautiful color to be in place. Now keep in mind I am keeping things pretty simple. Ew, what am I doing there? I guess I could have edited that out. But don't forget, I was a complete beginner and I am still learning so much about the world of makeup. Don't mind me here, but I'm just gonna go super quickly through of coloring in the rest of those eyelids because it can get boring real quick just watching me repeat. So I'm just gonna finish up coloring in those eyes. The next step here is using that original concealer that I showed you earlier. Now, you're just going to dab it right above the pupil onto that eyelid. And as you can see, this neat little trick that I picked up on from other beauty gurus, you just dab it, and then you look up. From this point, this is the highest part of where your cut crease will go. Earlier, I did mention the kind of brush that I'm using here and how it has a rounded top. Now, the reason I love using this brush so much is that it kind of creates that roundedness that you want for the cut crease. Whereas if you did have a very straight edge, it'll be much harder to get the roundness that you want all the way to the end. Or in this case, halfway, because we are doing a half cut crease. And this is what the end result should look like from carving out that beautiful cut crease. Now I'll show you the trick one more time before I speed up this video. But as you see, you dab it to the middle and you look up. And that will be the highest part of the cut crease. Watch how the rounded flat brush that I'm using for the concealer does that roundedness for you. Isn't it just beautiful? Feel free to add some more concealer, by the way. This brush that you're seeing here is a rounded shadow brush. It's a lot more compact. There's lots of bristles to this bad boy. And this is because you want to be able to get as much pigment on that brush. Usually I would tap off the dust, but in this case I will not, because I want it all stuck to that concealer that I'm showing you right now. And obviously from watching, you can see that we are using the lighter green from the Sage&Wisdom Mac Cosmetics, excuse me there. And we will just continue putting on that color, just pack it on. And you just gotta love how bright and shimmery that this color is. And I'll just quicken this part right on up, because I'm sure you get the idea. Now we're going to go back into the darker shade of your MAC palette there. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a small blending brush, take that dark color, and you just kind of want to smooth out those really rough edges. That way it looks like the outer part of the green blends very nicely into that much lighter green that you're seeing. A big key thing that ladies need to keep in mind with doing eyeshadow is blending is key, girl. It is such key. So yes, it is a bit time consuming, but if you love makeup, you won't even care. Because honestly, for me, it's a moment to myself. We're now going to head right on into one of my favorite palettes that I bought. Super expensive, but so worth it, girl. Oh, it's so worth it. The pigment on this thing is crazy. The first color that we're going to be using from the Soft Glam is called Fairy, and it's a very light gold. And I'm going to be using this to highlight parts of the eyes. So this does include the inner parts of your eye, as you're seeing what I'm doing right now, the inner corner of the eye, just slightly blend it in a little circle, and I like to bring it into the lighter green eyeshadow, just ever so slightly. After this, I do like to go in just under the eyebrow. So the eyebrow bone is going to be your next part to highlight. And it's going to give this illusion of bringing the eyes from the inner corner to the outer corner in this very beautiful, uplifting way. Going back into that Soft Glam palette, I will be using the color Rustic. And this color will be my transition color. Transition colors are typically from going from below your eyebrow, a little bit lower, that color blending in to your next colors that go all the way down. A lot of people like to do this first. I do it either way, whatever I'm feeling that day. Remember that blending is such key when it comes to doing your eyeshadow. So that being said, the brush that you see that I am using to blend And actually, the blending there should be a lot more circular, but I must be trying to fight a really rough edge there. Anyways, the brush that I am using here is from Sephora. It was stupid expensive. I was kind of like, why did I just buy that? But then I used it, and I haven't stopped using it every single day. The next color we're going to be going in with is Cypress Umber, if I am pronouncing that right. I always think it's so weird how they come up with the names of these colors. The point of this color here is that we want to darken out the edges of the eye. The point of this is to create this illusion of the angled, uplifting eye. Now remember, ladies, blend, blend, blend. I like to go back in with the giant blending brush that I got from Sephora. And that's just to kind of get rid of any leftover rough edges. It kind of just seamlessly brings all the colors together, which is really nice. And, you know, just blend, blend, blend. A tip I will give you, ladies, especially if you're new to the eyeshadow game or the makeup game, that is, make sure that when you're blending, especially when you have the lighter color, you know, from the middle to the outer parts of the corners of your eyes, to blend from the dark, from the outside, inside. At least that's what I've been doing since I've been into it. But then again, there are no rules to makeup. That is the beauty. It is an art. You do whatever you want to do. The last color that we will be using from the Soft Glam palette here is Noir, which is black, to make it simpler for you. Plus, I'm not very good at saying French words, so I'm just going to be using my angled brush, which is actually used for eyeliner, and I will be using the eyeshadow as my eyeliner today. The beautiful part of this brush is the angle on it makes it so easy to find where you really want it to go, especially for people with downturned eyes and just kind of a hooded eye. It helps a lot. I've noticed a difference since I started using it. I'll just quicken up the process here for you, but as you can see, I do my eyeliner pretty thin because my eyes don't have that much space once they're open. So if I make the line too thick, it kind of overtakes the eyeshadow. The next step is curling your eyelashes. Now please remember that you did use it to create that line earlier, so wipe it off, or else you're just gonna get green in places you did not intend to have them, and you're gonna be very frustrated, because I've done that before. And because I'm sure we all know how to use a curler, I will just go past that real quick. Next, we're going to be using the Maybelline Falsies Mascara. This stuff is pretty cheap. Usually I try to get it on sale, you know, from a Walmart or a Shoppers Drug Mart kind of deal. It ranges between like 10 and 20 bucks. You know, your classic drugstore mascara. Because this is more about the eyeshadow today, I'll just show you some snippets of what I do right after I do the eyeshadow. You know, some fun, a little more products, more money I have spent that I didn't need to. But this is the final look. And this is with the hair being done, you know, a nicer outfit on. And I really hope that you guys like this half-cut crease kind of look, and I hope my little cheats help you achieve what you're looking for today. I'll see you guys later. Bye!